against Zoo. And Handlock actually is pretty good, but can get blown out. So there's a possibility that Xixo might 3-0, but it's going to be a really tough road ahead of him. Because if he runs into one poor matchup, if FlyBird makes a read that he's going to go Zoo, and is only able to take one more game, then he moves on and Xixo is out. So must-win situation for him. And this is a matchup to do it with.
Well, just have to take it one game at a time. Don't worry about the whole, like, I have to win 3 games in a row. Just take it as it goes. That'll probably be the best course of action for him.
One star at a time.
Yeah.
Ladder style.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. Can Xixo turn it around? Or will FlyBird 3-0 and be the open player of the week going into the semis?
Oh, it's Handlock.
Oh, it is Handlock. It's not Zoo. So he's trying to confuse people by mixing it up, and FlyBird will most likely mulligan for Zoo. Is he going to toss away these cards to try and get Fiery War Axe?
These cards would be pretty good against Handlock, but...
Yeah, he tosses it away to try to find Fiery War Axe. Oh, man.
That's not a Fiery War Axe.
If it was Zoo, he would be in so much trouble.
The only solace that he can take out of this situation is the fact that he has Brawl as an emergency way to deal with a board. Because this hand is weak against both Handlock and Zoo.
Well, now it's like a, well, alright, at least it's not Zoo because my hand is terrible. And of course, Xixo immediately with tap.
Okay. Well, he's got something.
Yeah, a very painful exchange in the next turns, too. Okay, so does he have Sea Giant in this deck? Like you were talking about. It is possible.
Yeah, this was, I believe it was Frozen, who made the Handlock deck. But basically, like, took out Jiraxis and took out, like, some late game and put in Implosion and Sea Giants. So he basically had every giant but Clockwork Giant. Which is pretty interesting. It helps against aggro a little bit. Because Sea Giant's sort of like the middle ground of, like, giant safety in an aggro matchup. Because it's tough to lay Mountain Giants.
Yeah, sure.
And Molten Giants can be dangerous when you're low, but are usually relatively easy. Sea Giant's sort of the middle ground. You can lay it when you're in danger and still be able to do other things, like Molten Giant, but you're not necessarily have to be low to be able to lay them. So I like it.
So FlyBird's in an awkward position too. He's gonna execute this giant. I do wonder if you're right, where we'll see the Sea Giants come into play and it'll be in the middle of the ground approach here. But Xixo now can take initiative on the board, and now that Death Bite has been used, he's got Implosion. It's definitely a lot stronger now.
It is. It
Ooh,
definitely
Twilight
is.
Drake off the top is also very good. He just used an execute,
Mm-hmm.
and all of his armor. Twilight Drake is very good. It is off curve.
He might.
Lotheb would be much stronger.
Yeah. I think he feels inclined to play on curve. That way next turn he can make a stronger Twilight Drake because he'll be able to tap as well. Shield Maiden. Fantastic way to answer a Lotheb though.
Right. I mean, there's only one spell anyways. It's not like it was... It's not about the spell. It's about the 5/5 body. It's about the 5 mana.
What now?
And of course, having the ability to pressure the armor.
Mm-hmm.
So if he plays Shield Maiden, do you ignore Shield Maiden or do you trade? Do you ignore Shield Maiden to try to reduce the amount of damage?
And reduce the effectiveness of a Shield Slam.
Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry. Remove the amount of damage done by Shield Slam.
Yeah.
Is there a way to compromise? Perhaps. Doesn't look like it.
He could have tried to roll high on Implosion, but that's really risky. I like this play better.
That is super risky.
And there's the shield slam, and that becomes problematic because now he can't just armor up and well, I guess he wouldn't have been able to anyway, but this makes it just really awkward for him to do.
Yeah, FlyBird, if he wants to take this out, has to... Oh man, he really has to take a lot of damage, or he can brawl prematurely, but that's highly ill-advised just because brawl is one of your reset buttons when things get too crazy. And if your opponent knows that you don't have brawl, he can make a push to end the game early if he has a lot of giants and you have nothing.
You can set up Death Spite and I don't know. I was thinking you could try and keep your Shield Maiden alive to still challenge the Loatheb while still taking out the Twilight Drake, but it's just really inefficient.
Yeah, you can do that. You can even Shield Slam as well if you want to.
Yeah, that's what I was
really
saying. Death Spite and Shield Slam.
But definitely does not feel very good. You just hero power, and then let the Whirlwind effect kill everything off.
Defender of Argus could be problematic though.
Yeah, but this is where Mortal Coil is like very, very powerful. Draw a card, 1 damage. Like Mortal Coil is like such it's just such a balanced card.
Yeah.
But when it works, it's like unfair, and when it's useless, it's like bleh.
Whoa! And he gets a Mountain Giant from the Mortal Coil as well, so.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he could hold off on that though and play
Sludge
Belcher or something else instead.
Sludge Belcher would protect
Maybe-
the Loatheb.
Maybe even taunting up just the Drake. Like if you use if you play the Mountain Giant and then taunt up just the Drake, you force the Death Spite to attack in a very awkward angle, and he can't kill off Loatheb. That way you don't have to give up the first body of Sludge Belcher. The problem I have with playing Sludge Belcher is that it still dies to the Death Spite.
It sort of accomplishes the same thing.
So yeah, actually the more I think about it, I think Mountain Giant and then taunting just the Drake is really good. And this really puts FlyBird in a very awkward spot because he doesn't have like a cool Taskmaster. So what do you do, DJ? What do you do? You're the Control Warrior expert here.
Brawl.
We're Brawl Boys. What if the Giant survives?
We'll come to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I guess the showdown has not finished yet. Finish what this started, right? Kill off the Drake.
I think you just have to eat it and throw down the Acolyte of Pain. Throw
Yeah,
down
I
the
wouldn't
Acolyte of
mind
Pain
that.
and then eat it.
I wouldn't mind that.
You're still getting some value out of the Death Bite just because of the
For sure.
Death Rattle effect. And that's a nice clean board.
So, basically 3 out of the 4 targets you would have been able to kill, but it's all about how much damage that would have scaled.
Implosion. Both Death Bites are gone.
Implosion guarantees a kill. It does give him a card, and you can silence it. I do think Implosion is very strong here. Just because, again, he uses second Death Spite, so now there's even less Whirlwind effects.
Are you worried about Baron Geddon though?
I suppose you are. But, with that in mind, what else do you do?
Yeah, not really many plays. Well, moderate roll. Right in the middle. Very average Implosion. Statistically average.
Yeah, normal distribution. FlyBird has a Gore Howl in this deck. That's interesting.
I love Gorehowl. I think Gorehowl is one of the best cards that Control Warriors can play.
One
Even
of my
right now.
favorite things to do ever is to cheese with Gore Howl. Have an upgrade or a Captain Greenskin. And then just like do 16 damage. And they're like, ah yeah, I'm out of the range of Gromosh. It's like, no, I actually did 16 damage with my weapon.
Well, I think Gorehowl is even better card when players aren't usually running Gorehowl. Because the surprise factor of Gorehowl can sometimes be an added win condition.
Well, unfortunately, he doesn't have the life luxury at the moment.
Yeah. So it might just have to.
Oh man, too many weapons. That's also been a danger too. Sometimes you just have too many weapons and they clog the hand.
Yeah. Too many weapons will clog up a hand. How does he hold all those weapons?
So, a very annoying situation again. But you can Mortal Coil. Mortal Coil still gives you the room, I believe. Oh no. Before he had the opportunity to play Hellfire and Molten Giant, but I think he just wants to silence us instead. It's very reasonable.
Okay. Well, he's still building a wall, so protecting himself from the combo. He wouldn't have died regardless, because with just a Fire War Axe, Gormash, Cool Taskmaster combination would not have done much. Or it would have been one off.
This is why maybe developing the Gorehowl could have been stronger, but you know, he was definitely searching for his combo. Like he wanted to find the Gromish finisher with the 10 to 12 damage burst.
And he would have taken so much damage over the course of those couple turns as well.
It's true.
And
you have Alexstrasza. Like one of the powerful things about Alexstrasza with Gorehowl is being able to put yourself back up to 15.
Yeah. And in handlock, Alexstrasza sometimes can be a liability because you're either using it on yourself to bring yourself down, or using it on the Warlock to usually heal him back up. And I mean, sometimes it can be good if you want to put it on the board and put him in an awkward Molten Giant range. But a lot of times it's just hard to find a situation where you have a great Alexstrasza in the handlock matchup.
Well, he used his Owl. Maybe Sylvanas can get some work done here. Sylvanas and then re-weapon up.
Yeah.
I think
like
that seems to be the best middle-of-the-road compromise here.
The 5/6 can feel intimidating, but in reality it's...
Oh, he holds off on the weapon. Not exactly sure why. I guess he's afraid if his opponent has Harrison Jones.
Or he doesn't want to waste a Fire War Axe if he wants to play Gorehowl next turn.
Well, yeah, it's true. That's a good point.
Because Fire War Axe can be a pretty good card if you get to like fatigue battles. Because it's just 3 damage that you're putting on. 6 damage over 2 turns.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And the slower... if one player doesn't seem to have a distinct advantage in this matchup, usually a lot of times it ends up going to a fatigue war.
Well, FlyBird, what you gonna do? Seems like Xixo is just gonna try and field a weak minion to you either way.
Gonna flush him out. Just rag.
Gorehowl, maybe?
Rag. No.
I think it's Rag?
No.
I think you want to get past that Ancient Watcher.
Yeah, but Gorehowl, I mean, even after you armor up, that's putting you down to, what, 11 health?
But you yeah, you go to 11 health.
Like,
and then you kill off like a 3/3.
So you leave 4 power on the board.
Oh, Ragnaros.
You'd be out of range
I'm
of
always
Hellfire
scared
Dark
of
Bomb.
Ragnaros doing horrible things like hitting the face and then you just lose everything. If you hit Ragnaros and you miss, he like trades everything into the board in Shadow Flames and you lose everything.
But then you always have Promise for Ragnaros. To the Promised Land! Oh!
Wow, he crashed the gates like you wanted.
Yeah, that's best target right there. Pretty much the same effect as Gorehowl, except he's putting a Rag on the board. And
now there's a board
taking
clear
damage.
though. And he's just going to push for damage. Like, it's okay, because he's going to use Hellfire and Dark Bomb now as burst. Like, Warrior's in danger of dying because Rag didn't do anything. Rag did the same thing Gorehowl would have.
That's true.
But, you know,
Blocked a little
effectively
more
he doesn't have
damage.
the health to do it. But he could have had Gorehowl attack and then bounce himself back at the 15. I think he would have been in a pretty decent spot. But right now he's just struggling to stay above water.
Yeah.
He's gonna be at what looks like to be 10 health.
And he's gonna shield slam. Okay, this is
That's
smart.
so desperate.
Yeah, otherwise I think he would have. Yeah, he would have been dead.
I mean, it's still a very precarious situation. If you attack into it, if you can actually clear the board here with Hellfire, and then just like play Sludge Belcher. Or even Sylvanas. Sylvanas is more power. What is scary is the possibility of him killing you if you do anything else. Do you want to use Shadow Flame instead? I think Shadow Flame is a lot stronger. Oh, he's thinking about Siphon Soul and pressing, right? Siphon Soul 3/5 attack. That's 4, 5, 8 damage.
If he Shadow Flames, he's giving up a target, regardless. You can't
No. You just attack 2 into the 3/5 and then Shadow Flame like the 2/3 or something, and then it kills off everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can get away with it.
So many possibilities.
I'm also okay with being defensive here because you are low on you will be low on health after you Hellfire. And I like using Hellfire over Shadow Flame
To push for the threat.
but I guess you do have 2 Shadow Flames.
2 Shadow Flames, and of course, Hellfire could be a surprise burst, and they're never guaranteed.
Really? Wow. I am surprised by the no Sludge Belcher thing.
Yeah. Well, he had to play a card because he was
Yeah.
at 10.
Sometimes you just gotta go full Dennis. Well, I think it's as good as time as ever to Alex Straza yourself.
Definitely.
He just Dark Bombed the face. So you gain inherent card advantage by doing that. Well, not advantage, but you gain some card back here.
How much removal does he have left?
He's got an Execute.
He doesn't have shield
He's
slams.
held on to that shield slam for a long time, so he's got another one.
Oh, does he?
He's got 11 cards remaining in his deck, so there's still plenty.
11 cards to 4. So if Draxus comes out, he'll be able to safely use Harrison for another 5 turns?
Yeah, 4 or 5. But Xixo is planning on dropping his Moltons before he drops Jiraxis.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
If he gets in range, though, because if Alex
Xixo wanted to tap, so that way he can play his Molten Giants cheaper.
But if he,
No, Alex Straza. Interesting.
it could have put Xixo in an awkward situation if FlyBird had actually laid Alex Straza, because he would have used Siphon Soul to remove it. And then he would have been at 21 health. And he wouldn't be able to play those Molten Giants. And,
Or anything, really.
Or anything. And if he taps, he's only got 4 cards left.
Well, Xixo's still taking his time here, pacing it. I don't think he needs to accompany the Savage with anything. Sunfear Protector seems unnecessary. Oh, he's worried about Grommash combo.
Okay.
Yeah. Always that annoying 12 damage that might finish the game.
Yeah, that would have been exactly lethal.
Well, FlyBird also in a similarly awkward spot.
He can't take too much damage here.
Yeah. I mean, actually, you can. You just, like, say you attack Sylvanas with everything, and then Alex Straza yourself back up to 15.
That's an
Right?
option. Yeah.
I feel like that's your best course of action.
What now?
Because shield block, almost regardless of what you get with shield block, you're still going to be using that fireworks to attack the face, so you're wasting the armor. So you're basically just cycling for 3 mana.
Yeah, I actually do like the Alex Straza play here. I think it sets up a strong enough board that your opponent has to respond, and then, like, you still need to extend your life here. You're still too low. You're like 1 Iron Beak away from dying.
Yeah. And this is sort of where it gets problematic, though. Oh, Dr. Boone He can't Dr. Boom and
Siphon Soul.
Siphon Soul though, but Dr. Boom does give him a play to make if he Siphon Souls, because if he Siphon Souls, he's going to be way out of range of Molten Giants.
Siphon Soul?
Do you?
I mean,
So many
Maybe not.
He needs a very specific set of cards. Okay, well, he's going to go for it. I was saying he needs a very specific set of cards to kill you. Whirlwind Execute. But you're on your last life. I guess Xixo's going to play it safe.
And he holds on to the... doesn't tap, because he knows that he's getting too deep in his deck. And this is a good opportunity to play the Gorehal. Holds off on the shield block as well, because he wants to save that armor for the second shield block.
Right.
Uh-oh. Well,
Dr. Boom is as good a time as ever. And that Iron Beak Owl came in definitely too late, but still, FlyBird's under heavy pressure here. He's got some ways to gain life, though, and be defensive. Definitely the big game hunter is coming out, though. I think he wants to consider all of his sequencing options, though.
this actually could be looking pretty decent for FlyBird. It's just such an awkward set of turns.
Well, don't forget there's 2 Molten Giants.
But are one of those Molten Giants going to be able to be played?
Well, he's going to hit Fatigue soon.
That's true.
And then Jiraxis will be a heal. It's not going to be anything else, really.
But is there going to be a turn where he can safely factor in Fatigue to play 2 Molten Giants without dying the next turn?
Yeah, he's got Sludge Belcher.
That's only one turn. Fatigue's not that quick.
Well, so
if he doesn't take any
He'll
damage...
just play 1 Molten Giant, and then he'll play, like, the Sludge Belcher. And then he's got Jiraxis to heal some health, too. And by then, your opponent can't play Harrison Jones because he's going to start fatiguing himself, too, and he's on low health.
It's true.
He might die next turn.
Wow.
No, he can't actually if he shield blocks. Shield block? He doesn't want to shield block. So if you silence silence the Armor Smith, attack with both boom bots. No.
Attack one boom
there
bot
has to be
into
a
the
lethal
Armor Smith.
opportunity here, right?
Okay.
Potential lethal. 2, 4.
Okay. Silence the Armor Smith.
There's 5. He has 10 health. So silence the Armor Smith, Shadow Flame the Owl, and then Hellfire. And then what happens is you have to do 5 damage when you have a scale of 8. So that is 10 out of 16 chances, which means right now Xixo has a 63% chance of lethal his opponent.
Wow, he did the math.
If he gives up everything in his hand right now, like the Owl, and then like Shadow Flame.
He's looking at it.
Hellfire.
Hovers over Owl, hovers over Shadow Flame, hovers over Hellfire. That's better than a 50-50.
It's also very risky if it backfires. You might not need to do that risk. Siphon Soul on an Armor Smith. Look at that.
Bold.
Okay, well one of the bombs did 2 damage. And if the other bombs did 3 damage, I'm going to use my confirmation bias to say that he had lethal.
Okay.
That he...
Nice.
Okay.
Miss lethal. He just missed lethal.
The reality is Xixo could have went for lethal, but he would have given up a lot to do it.
Very risky move. Very risky move.
But, you know, if he was up 2-0, I would say you can go for it. But when you're down 0-2, yeah.
Yeah, about that. Well, Shield Minions pretty good, because it gets him out of range of just about everything.
Well, it's also important to have a 5-5 on the board, too.
Yeah, especially both Siphon Souls are gone. I mean, it's going to get killed by what's on the board, but...
Siphon Soul on the Armor Smith. Wow. He did that to minimize armor gain as much as he could.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. He's going to need this Iron Beak Owl to get past whatever final taunt he has, too. So that's why he kept the Owl.
And I guess giving himself more room to maneuver with health, now that he's going to be hitting fatigue, could be good.
Okay.
Ooh.
Xixo would not have had lethal. bummed about the 2 damage.
Okay, guys, calm down. Didn't miss lethal.
Okay.
We're okay. Back to square one.
So,
Now this leaves an execute opportunity with the Armor Smith still on the board.
well, assuming he doesn't get past the Sludge Belcher.
Very true. I think this it's a 4-attack Gorehowl now as well, so he can't.
Also, you can. Yeah, it's a 4-attack Gorehowl. Oh, you're right. You can't kill off this Armor Smith, but it's just so much health potential. He does need to start whittling an opponent away. He is on fatigue.
Silence. Yikes. Okay, well he's got a decent sized board, but
Baron Geddon also works for both players at this point. Don't know if that's what you want. You do take away 2 damage. I guess the way you can look at it is Baron Geddon is net for this turn because you take 2 damage anyways. Oh, that is so painful.
so he'd put him at he'd be at 11 health at the end of this turn with 5 power on board.
Yep.
Oh no, 4 power on board.
No, 7 power on board. Oh, you mean your opponent?
Yeah, your opponent, yeah.
Here we go. So he's gonna go down to 10 health.
But how does he deal with the Baron Geddon?
He's got Hellfire.
That's
2
true.
damage. Taps, he takes 3.
So if he taps, he takes 3, he'd be at 16. He Hellfires, he'd be at 13. That'd be 6 mana. He could play a 3-mana Molten Giant. But he could
Oh.
Hellfire and play a Molten Giant
That's
for 6
interesting.
mana anyway.
So if he taps, he'll take 3 damage.
But either way, he's only playing 1 Molten Giant. It's just whether or not
Oh,
he...
right. Yeah, okay, then there's no need to tap. The tap
Yeah.
is only if you need to play the second Molten
Yeah.
Giant for cheap. Is he so ballsy that he'll leave up Baron Geddon? No. I was like, he thought about it for a brief second. Oh man, this is really tense. For Xixo's tournament life on the line.
He has to take that 8 damage.
At this point, you can play Jiraxis too, right? Because if he Harrisons, he's gonna fatigue and kill himself.
Indeed. Wow.
What do you even do? If you play...
Armor up, hit Molten Giant,
Execute.
execute, then Shield Maiden. To preserve armor for the second
No
Shield Slam.
way.
Wow.
Holy crap. I think he Dr. Booms. I don't know. Shield Maiden. Okay. Yeah, Shield Maiden, because you know he has Jiraxis.
Draxus.
So now, you have to Jiraxis, right? It's like, it's the only way. 7 damage, you take 4 next turn.
If you Molten Giant, then next turn Fatigue, Gromish would kill you.
He dies either way to Gromosh right now. Oh! Well,
That's-
that's gonna be it. Because he just has to attack with
Wow!
everything now.
Oh, man! And Xixo has to be expecting this.
I think Jiraxis was the only way he could have survived, right? He
Yeah.
would have taken 4. No, he would have been dead either way.
Yeah.
He would have been dead either way. Because the damage would have been enough.
What? He had 7 on board, plus 4, that's 11, plus the fatigue damage. Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that
Oh,
won't
doesn't matter.
Because it looks like FlyBird will advance 3-0.
Wow.
And when it matters the most, he's able to buckle down and win. Now, that means Xixo is out, and FlyBird advances to the semifinals, getting an invite back for next week.
Well, so my read on Xixo being really strong in this format was maybe not correct, or maybe he just had a couple unfortunate games. There was a lot of close calls, a lot of rough decisions made by, I think, both players in some of those matches. But
Sure.
FlyBird 3-0 is definitely an impressive way to make your way into the semifinals. And, of course, you can see the bracket there on your screen. Hypezilla in the first semifinal match, and, of course, FlyBird advancing to face the winner of our next match, which will be Magic Amy, newly picked up by Tempo Storm, and, of course, TSM's Trump. This is the one that I've been waiting for today.
Yes, as well as many people probably looking on and watching and anticipating it. So good job to FlyBird. Maybe Xixo can try again to the Open, but for now, this week is over for him. And, well, he'll have an opportunity on Sunday, as well as you guys, if you ever want to try. You can go to esl.gg/legendary series. We also want to thank the people that made this possible. esl.gg/Newegg Esports leads you to all of our cool discounts on products like Cooler Master, Western Digital, and Crucial. You can check that out while we get ready for our last quarterfinals, which is Magic